This is Love, Sex, and Society with Bridget and Don. Please like, subscribe, and share.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Love, Sex, and Society with Bridget and Don. We got a great show for y'all tonight. Some real interesting stuff. So stay tuned all the way through to the end. I think you might learn some things today. How you feeling, Bridget? You good?
I'm good. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
It's good.
We're gonna start this off with losing yourself trying to find somebody. And what I mean by that is you find somebody and you want to make them your person. So you start to lose parts of yourself, parts of your identity, your individuality, just because you want to try to make that person your person. Have you ever experienced that, or have you ever even seen somebody do that for you, like give up parts of themselves because they want you to be their person?
I never done that. Cause I always just been a person that even in previous relationships, I always had like my own identity. You know, I always knew like I want to accomplish this goal, or I want to, obtain this dream. And so I'm gonna go after it, and also like even with my friends too, I feel like that's like a non-negotiable, for me. I just always feel like, your friends are like your friends and your family are the people that I feel like you just, I don't want, like, I guess like I'm trying to say like not you, I don't feel like you should cross them, unless you are married. I feel like if you're just in a relationship with someone, I don't think you should like turn your back on your family, or even if you married, but like if you married, I can get that, like, but even then I think there has to be a healthy balance of you still having an identity outside of your relationship, so I've never personally done it to nobody, because even when I've been in relationships, I still make time for my family, like things that are important with my family, I'm still going. Even from time to time, if my friends want to go out, and it wasn't like me prioritizing one over the other, because I don't think like it's healthy to, like, if a woman got a man, I don't think it's healthy for you to be like trying to go outside every single weekend and you never finding quality time for your partner,
Right.
But I also don't think like once you get in a relationship, you just say, I don't care about my friends, and I don't, you know what I'm saying? Because and the day, if this relationship, whatever, don't work out, those are the people that always been there,
Right.
and so, but I think people really like lose themselves sometimes, and some people just really don't know how to balance that. Have you ever experienced it?
So I have, when I was younger, I think I may have teetered on like giving up parts of myself because I wanted the relationship to work. And things that I normally wouldn't do or normally wouldn't like, I was like, yeah, I like that, even though I really didn't like it. But, just to try to appease that person and make a relationship work, I may have teetered on it. But I've definitely had women who have lost their identity trying to make my identity theirs. And even though I try to steer women away from doing that, because we should have similar likes and dislikes, but we should also have our separate likes and dislikes. It creates conversation. But I've definitely dealt with women who never in their life have they liked the things I like. And now it's like everything that's me becomes them. And I'm like, why are you giving up who you are? It's not going to change how I feel about you. So it's not going to make me like you more or less. And I think, especially nowadays, with the dating pool being the way it is, I think men and women, probably more especially women, they will gear themselves to what that guy likes, instead of, you do some of the things I like, I do some of the things that you like. It's all, I'm going to do whatever he likes, just so that he finds me interesting. I've seen women who never watch sports a day in their life. Sports has never been their thing, but they men like sports. Now they become a sports fanatic. They want their man to feel like, oh, this is my buddy. We can always hang out. But
not me.
Yeah, like you gotta. Yeah, some of the times, okay, if he's watching a football game, you might sit down, okay, watch the football game with him, ask some questions, create conversation. But there's gonna be times when he wants that time to be by himself or with his friends.
Right.
And if you're always like, you want to watch the football game? Great. I'm going to watch the football game too. Like for example, my wife is huge in some sports, women's basketball, football. She watched the games. I'm not into sports like that. I might stop in there. Okay, what's the score? But I'm gonna go back and do something else because I can't sit and just constantly watch sports. It's not what I do.
Yeah.
I've seen women who have gotten heavy into cigars. And if you've noticed, there are more women smoking cigars now than ever before.
Yeah.
And that's because the guys are smoking cigars. So if I smoke a cigar, I can hang out with the guys. I might meet my person. And not that it's a bad thing. I think women that smoke cigars, I think is cool. You know what I'm saying? Like if that's your thing. But don't create a personality just to find a person. Like still have your individuality. And I think in today's time, because like I said, the dating pool is pretty shitty from what I understand. People are giving up themselves, or at least parts of themselves, to make themselves more appealing because they're like, okay, well, this is the guy that I want. If I do what he does, then he'll think I'm more interesting, or he might like me more.
Yeah.
I seen a black dude who was dating a white girl, and he was always a strong pro-black man, like pictures of Malcolm X in his apartment and stuff like that. And once he got with her and she moved in, all those pictures disappeared. And I'm like, yo, like that was your identity. That was who you are. You know what I'm saying? Wearing dashikis and you know what I'm saying, Black Power. And now it's just like polos and button-ups and no more Black Power. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Black Power is unimportant. So I've seen dudes do it, especially when they feel like the woman is going to bring more to their life than they've ever had before. And guys will do it more so for I guess on the aspect of lying. They're basically lying. Let's call it what the fuck they just putting on a mask. Women will, like they're putting on a mask. They want the person to think they're something that they're not.
Who, a man will?
A man will, right?
No, you know what? Why men, when it's like the opposite, when men do it, you know, I know why.
Why?
They be insecure as fuck. They be thinking that, and I know this because, you know, I talk to women all day long, and so I see it. And so the men that only wanna be with their woman, like I'm talking about, can I come to the salon with you? No, you can't come to the salon. Like stuff up her ass. But it's off of insecurity. It's off of like, I don't want her to cheat on me, and they're really projecting, you know, because either like they got hurt in their past marriage or relationship, and so now it's like that real bad abandonment. Like I don't want her to leave me, so I don't want to give her a fucking space of her life to have an opportunity to cheat or leave me. But men do it off of insecurity for sure.
I never thought about it like that. But that makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because they feel like if they reasons. Yeah, women do it. Like I said, they want her man to enjoy things with her. You know, guys are notorious for saying, I'm gonna go hang out with the guys, we're gonna watch football, or I'm gonna go hang out with the guys, we're going to smoke a cigar, we're gonna go, you know, go to the cigar lounge and have a drink. But if she's into it, then it's like, okay, I can do this with her also sometimes. So, but women are not doing it because they don't want their man to cheat. They're doing it because they want their man to value their time as equally as they do with their boys.
Yeah.
I don't want you to go out there all the time with your boys because that's the only time you have fun. We can have fun together. I do the same things you do.
Right.
Yeah. But I never thought about the insecurity thing, but that makes a lot of sense because
I think some women do it for insecurity too.
Some do. Yeah, some do because they feel like if their man is out there by themselves, the chances of them cheating or finding somebody else is a lot greater. But yeah, if a man constantly wants to be glued to their woman all the time, it is that if I give her a window, somebody else might climb in.
Yeah, and it's projection, and the reason why I know is because I've seen too many women that I personally know. It happened to them, and you know, even it gets to a point where, you know, it's like it makes the woman feel like, you know, it's like pushing the woman away because it's like she can't breathe. You know what I'm saying? But I've seen it a bunch of times where it's like men, and I'd be like, do they got friends? You know, some of them don't have friends. And then, like I said, some of them got hurt in previous relationships, or they're just have really, really, really bad like abandonment issues to the point where they are just so scared to lose their woman that they just don't want to leave her by herself nowhere. Like, she can go to work, but outside of work, and even that sometimes, like, oh, I'll take you, I'll drop you off, you know, like almost a little, you know, controlling, you know, where it's like, okay, can I breathe, you know? So I don't know, like I definitely see that men do it too. I mean, it's kind of sad, like either way, however you do it, you know, number one is just not healthy, you know. And I even feel like me, I'm a clingy person. Like, you know, if I was to have a partner, I would want to be stuck on my partner's ass, but I'm not going to, you know, because I feel like it's not healthy. And I wouldn't want to get on his nerves, you know, like I know that men are just different, you know, and men, regardless, like a man can love you all day long, but a man still wants to have his time, and he wants to be with his boys, you know. So I just feel like if you never give him that space to do that, you know, he might get annoyed, he might get tired. And just like you said, like if all the guys are going to the cigar lounge, you know, that's where everybody unwind and they talk about life or what they trying to do, and then one of them bringing a woman with them all the time, they not going to be able to really like be themselves and talk how they want to talk amongst men. And that's what men do, you know, especially in a cigar lounge. So I just feel like in any relationship, whether it be the woman or the man, I just feel like it needs to be a healthy balance, you know. And even if like one of the two don't have friends, you know, go find something to do for yourself, you know, find something that you love, you know. But I feel like a lot of it stems from like abandonment issues. Like I see it too many times. Like even this past week, like, or was it last week? Then the last week into this week, probably like two people already, same situation. Two people already. And this is like something that I hear all the time, like all the time, you know. And it's all types of relationship. It can be in, you know, like men and women. It could be the men. I know women. It's two women together that have those issues, you know. And when I just sit here and listen, I observe, and it literally, like, a lot of it be abandonment issues. Like, I'm scared to lose this person, you know. So,
now I will say, I did something similar, but I think it was for a different reason, or at least I hope it was. So, I was in a relationship, and I used to get like real tunnel vision. So, if I was in a relationship, but I'm also trying to focus on hanging out with my boys, I couldn't do both things at the same time. I couldn't focus on my relationship and focus on hanging out with my boys. So when I got with this woman, I guess kind of made her friends my friends.
Okay.
So, and it was more so that I didn't do something stupid to jeopardize my relationship. Like every weekend, I'm going to hang out with my boys because, once again, I used to get tunnel vision. I couldn't do two things at the same time. I couldn't focus on two things at the same time. But then I learned later on, like I played myself because when me and her broke up, remember, I made all her friends my friends.
Right.
When we break up, her friends go on with her. And now I'm like, damn, like all these people that was cool with me, I've disregarded them for the last few years.
Right.
And now, I'm going back to them like, yo, I'm still here. And they like, yeah, you ain't been around in a minute.
Right.
So I think more so now, what I do is I try to make time for both.
Right.
I definitely make more time for my marriage. It's just logical. Than I do with my friends, but I still at least make sometimes it just me and the guys hang out. Me and the guys unwind, talk about shit, just anything. But I still want to. Now I may not do so much as make my wife's friends my friends, but she's become my best friend. So it's like, okay, I can hang out with the fellas, but hey, after about 4 hours, I'm like, yo, I'm out, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit was cool. We caught up. I'm going to fuck home.
Yeah.
Because the longer I'm out here with y'all motherfuckers, I'm gonna spend more money anyway. So it was always like I just had to make sure that I found a proper balance this time. And finding that proper balance, I think, has helped my current relationship because those times when I do go hang out with my fellas, she's like, okay, when I get home, she's like, oh damn, no, say I missed you when you was hanging out. I like the fact that you went and hung out. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself, but damn, I missed you. You know what I'm saying? Let's go do something together.
Right.
But yeah, we gotta basically just make sure that finding a person or finding your person don't so much lose you and disregard who you are.
Yeah. I feel like even what you said with the friends, like, you know what I'm saying, how you like made her friends your friends. And it's so it's like, in a sense, you made that person's identity somewhat of your identity. And we talked about this in the past, that it's like, even if you and that person say y'all break up or say that person passed away, you know what I'm saying? If you don't have your own identity, you're going to be like lost when that person is no longer there, either because y'all broke up or, like I said, maybe they passed away, and then that's another thing that I've seen too, is I think, when people don't know their identity, and as they get older, you know what I'm saying? Like, they never had an identity of their own, or the identity was like one thing, and then maybe they became like a husband or a father, and then, okay, boom, your kids leave the nest, and now what's my identity outside, or me and my wife separated, so what's my identity outside of being a husband, and what's my identity outside of being a father, right? Because both of them are gone.
Right.
My wife left me, my kids is grown now, right? Like, as a man or a woman, like, you're gonna sit back if you don't have no identity, and you're going to just be resentful of your entire past, because you're gonna feel like you needed to relive so many moments, and like I use it, like I use this as an example, even like with a red flag, like because one of my clients will watch that, the Pop the Balloon show, right? And so whenever I do watch this show, because I don't watch it like that, but whenever I watch it and you hear a man, like, for some reason, this is a red flag for me. If a man always bringing up that he used to be a football player in high school, that's a red flag. Because I'll be like, what is your identity outside of when you used to play football in high school, sir? That was 20 fucking years ago. What are your fucking hobbies now? You know what I'm saying? But to me, that is like a huge red flag in a man. Like, if a man is like, yeah, but I used to play football, and I used to when I played football, I was big and I lift weights. And it's like, if you just consistently talk about that, that means like that is you left your identity there, like, and then, like I said, say you become a father or a husband, and then eventually your wife or whoever leave you still thinking about how you were supposed to be playing in the league. That
Yeah.
was how many years ago? You know what I'm saying? Like, no. And then you're mad at the world because, well, my coach should have pushed me harder, because then I could have really played in the league and my whole life would have turned out different, and that's another reason why you had to create an identity. You got to create, even out, if you wanted to make it into the league and that didn't work. Okay, so who am I now? What am I doing now?
Right.
Okay, yeah, I'm a husband, I'm a father, but outside of that, I'm more than just a husband and a father. Like, what are my hobbies? What makes me happy? What do I like to do? So that when you are there eventually to face yourself by yourself, you still know who you are. You'll pick back up on the thing that you always knew. You know what I'm saying? And then I think the other thing with the whole, like, people hanging with their friends, I feel like you got some partners that, instead of like hanging with the friends, they won't hang with the friends, but they'll be upset because you're just always with your friends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the partner, like, you've been with your boys all day, like, when the fuck are you coming home? Like, and just hassling you. And mind you, this might not be something that you do all the time. Now if it was something that you like making a habit, it's like where you like outside of the home, or do you inside the home, okay. But if a man go out, every once in a while, and as a woman, like, you're just mad and you're like, well, I'm not going around them, but you're in the house and you just keep blowing his phone up, hassling him and stuff, I feel like sometimes that turns into like self-sabotage. I think some people like, well, I know my last dude, when he went out with all his friends, he started cheating on me. So if this new dude, if he going out with his friends, he just started going out with his friends, then that means he's cheating, and it's like,
Right.
no, he's not cheating. He just wants some space, and that's normal. It's normal for him to have a life outside of you, and outside of work. But you got to figure out, when he go hang with his boys, even if you don't got friends like that, you got to figure out, like, do things to make yourself happy. Figure out who you are, and have a good balance of that. And I even expressed it to one person that if you felt like your partner is going out too much, all it takes is a conversation. All it takes is, hey,
Yeah.
I don't mind you going out with your friends. I know that that's healthy, but I just want to make sure that I'm getting quality time with you as well. It's not being prioritized
Right.
over me. But yeah, I never thought, I just still to this day, but I know so many people who do it. I know so many people who hop in relationships and you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like they did totally disappear off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
So you, like, I was talking to a dude at work, and I found it kind of interesting. He hangs out with his friends, but when he does, the only thing he thinks about is being back with his woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like he can't even focus on the enjoyment of hanging out with his friends, because when he does, all he can think about is, I can't wait to get back home.
Yeah.
And I was like, you don't ever want to just let loose and just relax and breathe a little bit. And he's like, nah, I could breathe better with her. And I was like, wow, like I get it. Like I get the love aspect of that. And that's cool that you love her that much. But sometimes you just have to breathe and just be the individual that you are. And I've seen women who will make their children their sole identity, and then that same thing happens. The kids leave the nest, and the whole time they didn't pick up another man because they made their children their sole identity.
Right.
And when the kids leave the nest, it's like now she has to inject herself in her kid's life because that's all she knows.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't want to do that either. I've seen people do it as friends.
Yeah.
Where this one person you make your whole identity them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nothing that they never asked for it. They never wanted it. Yeah. They're just being themselves. But because you don't know who you are, you don't have no identity. You make their identity yours.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can't lose ourselves. I don't care how important it is to find your person. Losing yourself to find your person, I think is one of the biggest mistakes you can make. Because just like you said, what if they leave?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now you forgot who you were.
Yeah.
And that makes that breakup that much worse.
Yeah.
Because like now you're taking who I am with you.
Yeah. I feel like friendships is just like another relationship, and just like you wouldn't abandon your relationship, you shouldn't abandon your friendships. You know, I don't think you should abandon your family. You know, you just never know how things will play out, and you really don't know if you would ever need them. You know, so that's another thing. It's like it's a village, it's support. You know, outside of what you have, it's like extra, it's bonus. You know. So I feel like you should maintain it because you just never know when you need that support, when you need that extra love, that, you know, that extra help or whatever the case may be. And the thing is, I feel like everybody needs it at points of time. And I feel like personally it's selfish for you to get into a relationship and then say, oh, I don't need y'all no more, you know, right. And then the moment that the relationship goes wrong, hey, can y'all help me? Like, you know, like, and it's just like, huh? The same people that you gave us your ass to kiss all this time, like, you know, but it happens so much. Like, it happens so much. And it's just something I never understood. Something I never can agree on. I feel like even when I've been in relationships, I'm hanging out with my friends. You know, like I said, I'm still going to my family function. You know, and that's not to say I don't know how to prioritize a relationship. It's just it's gonna be balanced. You know.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like people do it for many different reasons though. You know, I think people have very anxious attachment styles. So I think that comes from abandonment issues, you know. And I personally feel like it's unhealthy because I mean, yeah, it's your partner. That could be your best friend. So it's like, yeah, you love this person, but you're not gonna tell me if two people are around each other all the fucking time, y'all not gonna eventually butt heads, you know. I just don't think it's healthy. You know, I feel like people should miss each other. And then not just that, but it's like your friends could be going through something, you know, and if you never have a space to where, you know, and another thing is like, I don't even mind if people, like, I have friends that are married, right? And it's like, I'm not the type of person, like, if we going to like a function where it's like open, like maybe a wine festival or something, bring your husband, bring your wife, bring whoever, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if it's like ladies' night where it's like all women, like, why are you bringing your husband? Or vice versa. Like, you know what I'm saying? As a man, if it's a night to hang out with the fellas, like, why are you bringing your wife? You know, because your friend could be going through some stuff where he's like, hey, I don't want to bother you at home because, you know, I respect that you married, you know, but they were looking forward to that one-on-one time to really ask for some advice or talk to them about what they're going through, you know. And if they never can get a space with you as their friend, you know, you're not really being supportive to your friends. But it's like when you go through things, when your relationship break up, your friends be like right there for you to cry on their shoulder. And that's why I just feel like it's not, you know, it's not right.
Yeah, and it also can create resentment from your friends towards the person that you're with because they feel like, you know what I'm saying, every move you make, that person got to be there.
Yeah.
You can't move by yourself.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not the person that be like, why you bring your husband? Like, I'm not that person. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because like but that's another reason, right? Because I know people who are married and they still can be like, I might be like, oh, you can invite your husband if you want to. No, he's staying at home. You know?
Right. I need my time.
Exactly. So it's like if a married person, right? So like I feel like it's very unhealthy if you're not married to that person. But if a married person can say, yeah, I'm married, like, you know, I have a husband or I have a wife and they at home, my kids at home, whatever, but I still want to go out with them because I respect our time. I respect like what we have, our friendship, you know. If a married person can do that, it's no excuse for people who are not married. Like, why are you stuck up that person's ass like that? It's not that serious.
Right.
They're gonna be there when you get home, you know.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna lie, I think I'm one of those friends that like have a little resentment because I just never operated like that, you know. And it's not out of like I want everybody around me to be happy, but don't only show up in my life when you have issues in your relationship, you know. And where the fuck is my friends when I'm going through shit, you know? So yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I'm that fucking person where I be like, okay, all right, cool. Next time motherfucker break out with you, bitch, don't hit my phone.
Yeah, and that's the one time that they will hit you is when something's going wrong with their relationship.
And a lot of people do it though. I just had a client that was a dude. He was talking about it yesterday that his father does that to him, you know. So
oh wow.
Yeah. Like, you know, so it happens. Like men be stuck up their wives' ass, women be stuck up their dudes' ass. It happens, you know, but it's not healthy. And I don't see why people do it. You know, and that's not to say you can't bring your partner to some functions, because some function is like anybody can come. If it's a cookout, bring your partner, you know.
Right.
If it's a fucking festival, bring your partner. But it's like when it's just the women or just the men, let them have their fucking time. It's not that fucking serious, you know.
That time and that space apart is important because it gives you that space to miss each other. You know what I'm saying? And then when you get back together, it's like, damn. You know what I'm saying? I know it's only been a few hours, but shit, I missed you those few hours.
Exactly. Exactly. But you know, and you also
But let's go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, you also just don't want to like your relationship to end and now you don't know what to do with yourself, you know, and all your friends is gone. You know,
now your friends are in relationships and they're doing the same thing now. They're like, yo, I need to be with mine. You know what I'm saying? And now you're like, damn, you can't come hang out. Nah, you couldn't come hang out when you was with yours. Why the hell should I come hang out now?
Right. That's how we feel. I be like, man, I can't wait to get a husband. I ain't gonna know none of y'all motherfuckers. My husband gonna be going everywhere. And he can still go hang out with his friends. I'm not hanging with y'all asses. Fuck y'all. Y'all did it to me too long. But yeah.
Let's talk about this drop in birth rate. Let's dig into that. Let's dive in.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about this topic just because, you know, I seen that they were saying like that, you know, the government is kind of concerned about birth rates is at an all-time low. And it's like, you know, it's a given. You know why people ain't having fucking kids. There's so many reasons why people ain't having kids right now, you know. But I think it's a topic that is like, it's so much more to it, you know. So like what is your take, you know, before I talk about it? Like, what's your take on it?
So from my view, a lot more women especially are prioritizing themselves over having children. They're prioritizing their careers. They're prioritizing, you know, just enjoying themselves as opposed to being hindered by having a child and not being able to move the way you want to. That wasn't always the case. It was a point where a woman felt like she didn't reach womanhood until she had a child. And for those women who couldn't have children, they felt like I'm not a whole woman because I can't have a child. But nowadays it just seems like women are like, you know what? It's more important for me to know who I am, what I can do, and I can do it whenever I want to, as opposed to being, you know, locked down with a child. But tell me what you found.
So I think the biggest thing of why birth rates are at an all-time low is because of how shitty the economy is. You know,
Yeah.
that's a given. Like, you know, I just feel like the cost of living, compared to, you know, what people are getting paid, it's not equivalent. So I think that's one of the biggest things. I think not just that, but it's like, you know, I feel like the people that sit back and haven't had kids, they do see people's situations. So it's like, I think a lot of people are scared because of the fact that, like, I ain't trying to get on child support. You know, I feel like that'd be a lot of
Yeah.
men, which is like, you have every right because you just never fucking know, you know? So I think you got, you know, some people that doing it because they're like, I do not want to have it with the wrong person. I think majority of it is how bad the economy is. It doesn't even make sense. People are already living paycheck to paycheck without children, you know, the cost of daycare, the cost of groceries, you know, the cost of healthcare, you
Hell
know, like,
yeah.
you know, so I think, so that's like really what I wanted to talk about, you know, and I feel like the only I just feel like everything about the government, like being upset about the birth rates being so low, is like a complete contradiction. And the reason why I say that is because, like, how are you mad that people don't want to have children, but at the same time, like, y'all are steady rising the cost of living, you know, and all those things, you know? And I feel like the only true reason why they care that the birth rate is so low is because y'all know that eventually y'all are not going to be getting money, as much money as you were, you know, because people pay into
Mm-hmm.
Social Security and Medicare and all those things, you know.
Yep.
So they look at us, they look at our birth rates as money, you know.
Of
But
course.
I just feel like it's a complete contradiction, you know, because you can't make it to the point where people can't survive, but you still want us to have children, you know. And I think it just like, it's so much things that play into it as well. Like, I think, okay, this is another thing that I just don't understand. um y'all are mad because people aren't having children because y'all want to make money off of us, right? But at the same time, you're kicking immigrants out the country, you know, mind you, them being illegal, okay, cool. You want them to be legal. You want them to do it the right way, right? But you got some illegal immigrants that was still paying taxes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, right, this is what I truly think. I feel like, okay, if people are not having enough children, aka not making y'all enough money, then why don't y'all take the immigrants, even the ones that are here illegally? Why don't you just help them become legal immigrants instead of kicking them out the country and, you know, get the fuck out? But if they were already here for so many years working and they were paying taxes, why are you just, instead of kicking them out, just making them legal because they were tax paying citizens, you know? So I feel
Right.
like if you care so much about making a dollar off the people and the people ain't having children, then why wouldn't you just appreciate the people that are here, you know? And I get the whole like wanting them to be here legally, you know, but I just feel like if they are here illegally, make them legal citizens if that's the case. And we need more
Right.
people on here paying taxes. And the thing is, it's like with the whole birth rate thing too, it's like if y'all waiting on us to have children, y'all gotta wait at least 18 years for them to start paying taxes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if
But they
you
won't
have an
give no
illegal
help while you
if you have
raising them.
if you have an illegal immigrant here and you like catch them, okay, well let's just you know, let's just help them, you know, make
Mm-hmm.
them legal, and you have a grown ass adult that can literally get a job the next day and start paying taxes, you know. So I just feel like it's like a complete contradiction. But um even I don't know, I went down a fucking rabbit hole when I was like really like learning about this shit. I really did, because it's like, really, I think like even them, the fact that the birth rates are low, I feel like even the fact that like they're kicking the illegal immigrants out the country, you know, I think people really sleep on, you know, what immigrants do for this country. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they also don't realize by kicking them out how it can make it worse too. Because like a lot of, if we're gonna speak about Hispanics, they work in construction, So even when I was doing my research on that, it's like the less construction workers we have, the more it's gonna cost to build houses and stuff like that. So ultimately, that's gonna affect the tax-paying American citizens, So it's like, oh, y'all so pumped to get them kicked out the country, but that means we're gonna have to pay more for houses. It means we're gonna pay more when we need things done on our houses because we're lacking workers now. And I think it plays into so many, like even outside of construction, but so many, even like child care and all these other things. So yeah, I don't know. Like, what else do you how do you feel about this, Don?
So I saw where when it came to like the immigrants, right? The first thing they said was, "Oh, they're coming in here and they're all on welfare and they're taking all our resources."
Yeah.
Then on the other hand, they said, "Well, no, they taking our low paying jobs. They taking our jobs. So either they're on welfare, or they're taking your job. Which one? Because they can't be on both." You know what I'm saying? So either they not working and they're on welfare, or they working and taking the jobs.
Right.
But what immigrants do for this country, that honestly, like you said, a child is going to take 18 years. And in those 18 years, the government does not want to do anything to assist women or families with the cost of childcare. Because the cost of childcare is high. So you have an immigrant who comes here, and they may take a job that if you take an American citizen and give them that same job, you got to pay them twice the amount.
Yeah.
So, like I had my last house, my roof got messed up in a windstorm. I called 5 different American companies to get an estimate. All the estimates were high, 32,000. And I'm like, what? Mexican dude came by my house. He was like, "Yo, I see the tarp on the top of your house. You need a roofer." And I was like, "Yeah, I need my roof done." He did it for half the cost and all in the same day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 6 of them came in, knocked out, got the roof done all in one day. And he was like, "All right, whenever you're ready, send me the check or whatever, you don't have to do it today because I know it's a large amount." He's like, just send me the check. And I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna get you your check today." Like everybody else was like, "Oh, it's gonna be like $30,000. It's gonna take us, about a week to get it done." These dudes all rolled in there. They sat up on the roof and ate their lunch. And I was like, "Oh, Americans are like, yo, I'm coming down. We're gonna go get some lunch. We'll be back in a couple of hours." These dudes was working, stopped on top of the roof, ate their lunch, put their wrappers in their pocket, went back to work.
Yeah.
So they're taking the jobs that, yes, some Americans might want to do, but they're going to do it for so much more.
Right.
It's going to cost so much more to build a house if it's all American labor, because American laborers want that union pay. They want that twice or 3 times the amount that, an immigrant might come and go, "You know what? This is all I know."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I may not have the schooling to go get an office job, but working with my hands is what I know.
Right.
I remember when my children were younger, me and my wife have discussed, at one point we discussed having a child. But for the same reason you said, like she looked at it and she was like, "Yo, it's so expensive to raise a child." She was like, "I don't want to struggle raising a child and not give the child everything that they deserve."
Right.
When my children were younger, they estimated it was like $18,000 a year to raise a child. It's about twice that now.
Yeah.
So can you think about what you make right now, what you like to do, how you like to spend your money, and taking $36,000 out of that every year? What the fuck? Why would I do that?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the benefit to me?
Yeah.
Raising a child is a beautiful thing. It's a happy, it's a joyous thing. But I think doing it right and making sure that you're prepared financially, if nothing else.
Yeah.
prepared for that added expense so that your child is not lacking as they're growing up just because you wanted to be selfish and say, I have to have a child.
Right.
And you knew it wasn't a financial benefit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the same time, like, you know, like the government, y'all mad because the birth rates are dropping, but y'all are taking away people's food stamps, people that are struggling with children. Y'all took away the school, even the some school programs during the summer, they was automatically just giving parents SNAP benefits, you know, for their children. So I mean, if you keep taking away, you know, y'all trying to take people off Medicare and Medicaid and stuff like that, if you're not giving, you know, we're already struggling, you know, with the cost of living and you know, our income not, you know, matching up. You're taking away any benefits. Why would anyone want to have a child? You know, and then, so I feel like logically, like I feel like any American citizen that's choosing not to have a child in this economy, I don't feel like you're wrong, you know, and
No.
I don't think you should do it, you know, because you're not going to be able to give your child what you need, you know, and if you're struggling now, you're definitely going to struggle with a child. But I think it's like the fact that it's like a lot of us feel like we can't have children because how bad the economy is. And then, you know, I think the other thing is just like how people don't realize like getting rid of the immigrants is also going to affect us, because if the birth rates are dropping, so we're not, you know, procreating more, that means we're going to have to eventually start paying more taxes, you know, because there's a gap, you know, and by y'all trying to kick the illegal citizens out, when it's like you could just help them become legal and them be tax paying citizens, you know, we're going to be paying more taxes. And then also the cost of living is just going to keep going up by kicking them out. Like, I think people really like sleep on like how much they do. Like, I just wanted to read off some of the industries that rely on immigrants, and it's labor, construction, agriculture, healthcare support, hospitality, transportation, which is huge, and childcare heavily depend on immigrants. So you got to think, if you're taking them away, childcare is already expensive. So it's just going to keep going up. Construction is already expensive. It's just going to keep going up. Hospitality, you know, we go on these vacations and stuff. Who y'all think cleans the rooms and do the laundry, and who's the hotel, you know, all those things. Like, that means the rooms and all that stuff going to be more, you know, like everything. They really play big parts and a lot of things in this country that we depend on. And so I think, I personally feel like this is why I just can't understand it. I really feel like the solution is to not be kicking people out this country. You know, like I feel like help them become legal, you know, and let's make the economy better. But by kicking them out, it's not going to make the economy any better than it already is. You know, it's going to
make it worse.
Even worse, you know. So I think, like me really like just doing my research, it just made me realize, like, you know, it's crazy how people are like, some people, you know, on the other side, they like are so for kick these illegal immigrants out, you know, but it's like you don't realize like you're already hurt now, but it's like we are going to hurt worse. You know, buying houses is already so expensive, you know, so the housing market is crazy right now. Like, imagine if they don't have as many workers building houses and stuff. How much do y'all think they're going to be worth then?
Right.
Like, even in Maryland, you got dumb ass houses that be $500,000. Some years down the line, yeah, and it will take some years, you know, for the birth rates to really affect the country. But some years down the line, you're gonna have fucking shacks that are $1 million, you know?
Yeah.
And then where the fuck are we gonna be living at? You know, I don't know. I think the whole thing is just, it was just like mind blowing to me. That I feel like, yeah.
And if you think about it, if you have a child today, right? Let's say Bridget drops a child today. the 18 productive member of society, everybody who is in their 60s today, 78.
Yeah.
So even though you are replacing
get that long, like that was those were the last generations of that. They're the last generations of
it's
that.
Unlike,
this don't make sense to me. Like, how the fuck y'all could be so fucking greedy? Like, no, like let's tax them more and tax me less, and then wonder why they can't afford to keep supporting my fucking business that's making me fucking rich. Like, it's just everything just be a contradiction. I don't know. This shit just fucking pissed me the fuck off. I ain't gonna lie. Like
they really rely on this. There's this thing called the trickle down theory, right? They think if you don't tax it's like they set small business owners up, and I'm just gonna say it because it's fucking real. They set you up to where you have to do crooked shit in order to make money on your business.
Yeah.
Like I know somebody who they take their clients out for dinner once a quarter, and you can write that off because it was a business expense.
Right.
Now are they really taking their clients out? No, they're taking their friends out.
Yeah.
And everybody pays the bill, but they take the check, they take the receipt.
Yep.
And they use that receipt to write. Like, you got to do crooked shit in order to even get a small piece back.
Yeah.
Of what your business is worth.
Back. Yeah.
Yeah. If you see it.
Sorry, I don't
think
know.
about
I know
that.
last year I didn't see nothing, and they still wanted more money. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't get nothing back, and y'all still want me to give y'all 2,000?
Crazy.
You know, and then even how it's done too, like tax day, April 15th. That's the last day to file your taxes. But tax day is also the day that you have to send your first quarter taxes. So not only do you have to have your income taxes filed by April 15th, but you have to send the IRS and the state as a small business or a 1099. You have to send them your first quarter of estimated money.
In Reisterstown, Maryland. Exact same house, exact same floor plan, exact same square footage, same amount. $1,000 more in Maryland than it was right across the border in Pennsylvania. Not right over the border in Pennsylvania. The $8,000. It was $450,000 here in Maryland.
Yeah, and so, then in Pennsylvania, you probably had a lot of land. You know, cars. You know, so how the fuck is it less a house there than it is fucking here? You know, like that shit just don't make no sense. You know, I feel like Maryland's a fucking scam. I love it because it's my home, you know, but it's a fucking like, you know, no, I be looking at houses all the time. To look at a house in the county, $275,000. That motherfucking roof was caved in. That motherfucker was burnt to the motherfucking ground. Joke like in Maryland, like welcome to Maryland, $250,000 house. Like, you don't got no. Like, what the fuck? How the fuck do this house? Like, this shit should be for free. It should be for free. Now you should want me to take this shit over, like
right.
And they still are trying to talk. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not telling a lie. It was a house that was literally, you could tell it was burnt up. The entire ceiling, like to the basement, the roof, no windows. Like,
that's crazy.
275,000.
Wow.
And because it's in a county.
Like, don't get me wrong. Compared to New York, Maryland is a lot more livable.
Of course,
Maryland is definitely a lot more livable.
Yeah.
And I get some of the luxuries that I would have in you. Like, if I need to go to the store, there's a store right on the corner. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can go to the store, to the corner store in Baltimore. But for what you make here, compared to housing, compared to car registration is high as fuck in Maryland. They tax you for every damn thing.
Yep.
So yeah, you can make the money, like you said, on paper. You're making the money, but once everything comes out, car insurance is more expensive in Maryland. Car registration is more expensive in Maryland. That's why a lot of people getting them damn Virginia license plates, because it's so expensive to register your car in Maryland.
Yeah.
So yeah, you make the money, but you don't get to see that money.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Your hourly wage is good. You got a great hourly wage, but your take-home pay is not really the same, because once everything comes out of it, you're living fucking paycheck to paycheck at best.
Yeah. That's why I be like, I be so confused. Like, even when, you know, they be building up certain areas, like even the peninsula. Like, you've been to the peninsula, right? You went to that, was that festival that y'all
the Asia Fest, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because they had it there last year. You know, so you see how they building it up over there, and they building these townhomes, fucking $500,000 townhomes, okay? And mind you, my homegirl went back there, and she basically said, like, some of these townhomes, like they're like connected, so like they kind of gotta share like a doorway with their neighbor. And like even then, yeah. So I definitely feel like it's very trying being a small business owner, but it's definitely, you know, I feel like, but I like I've said on here before, I feel like everybody should have some type of side hustle, something that can make you extra money, and it's just because I know for myself, like, these jobs will treat you like shit. You know, they'll talk to you like shit, and it's not right, because it was like, as a grown ass adult, I don't give a fuck if you my supervisor, you my fucking manager, bitch. I'm another woman, or I'm another grown ass man. You're not gonna me just because you're over me, you know. So it's like people being disrespected at their jobs by people, feel like they have authority. You have people that are not trying to pay your worth just because, you know, oh, I'm not paying. As long as I keep all of y'all income low, it's gonna give me a bigger bonus, you know.
Yep.
So that and even just people feeling like, well, like Maryland. Maryland is an at-will state. So at any given time, if they, we don't fucking want you here anymore, get your shit and get the fuck out, they can legally, and you can't do shit about it, you know.
Not a damn thing.
I feel like for that reason right there, job security, you know, you should always have something where you making some money on the side, just because to fully give someone that power of like taking something that powerful away, you know, like livelihood, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It has its benefits. It's hard, but you're contemplating on
the way, if that is something that you truly desire, you know, if you want to be a business owner, the only way that legit business is if you take it seriously, even when it's in the phase of being a side hustle, you know. That's how you started off, you know what I'm saying? Like, it starts from that, you know. Like, I've been doing hair 34, ready 35, so almost 15 years. I've been doing locks. I used to do locks just straight on the side, you know. I have people who hair I still do to this day from when I was 20 years old. When I was doing hair in the kitchen sink, like, come to me to this. So that's the only thing I say is, like, you can't be half-assing that shit, even when it's just a side hustle. You know, if you want people to take, you got to be serious about your business, even when it's the side hustle, you know, just so you can, you know, what it's supposed to be. But yeah.
But that's our time for. But definitely tune in next week. We got more shit for y'all. We're gonna have more conversations. Man, we gonna revisit the definitely keep revisiting the business ownership, and because I want to see our people succeed. So we're gonna talk more about that. But until next Wednesday. We love y'all. Please like, subscribe, and share this shit with somebody. Because even if you don't want to open a business, one of your friends might need this type of push. So share this with somebody you love.